That's me and my future
Okay.
asawa.
Asawa.
Women that are from the province almost always are going to be, especially if you're an older guy and you're coming here wanting to date a girl that's in her 20s.
What's a good budget per month you think to live comfortably here?
I live on a very tight budget.
Hi, please tell us your name and where are you from?
Yes, my name is Brian. I am from the United States, Florida. Shout out the Floridians, and 29 years old.
29. And what brings you down here to the Philippines at such a young age?
You know what, man? Honestly, I've been here for over a year now. I've traveled between different countries, between Vietnam, Peru, and now here. And I'm just living life, enjoying it, and seeing what's out there.
And what are some of the major differences between Vietnam, Peru, and the Philippines?
In Southeast Asia, guys, it's pretty much the same in some ways, right? You have the developing infrastructure economies, right? So in some ways, those things are very similar, but language barrier obviously is going to be very different between these countries. One of the advantages of being here in the Philippines is that English is that second official language. So pretty much no matter where you are, you'll always find somebody who can use English or have a conversation, ask for help. It's super easy.
So you've been here over a year. What are some of your favorite things about this country? What do you like the most?
You know what? Honestly, just the very laid back culture, right? People are extremely friendly, right? Whether that's romantically or platonically, being able to go outside and, just meet people and, being able to have a very chilled conversation with most people. Very different from the West where people kind of give you the cold shoulder sometimes, right? Don't really want to have a conversation. So when you're coming to a country like here and you can just really talk to almost anybody, it makes a very attractive option for anybody, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about some dislikes? Anything that you can't quite get used to here yet?
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of which, as I was coming here to meet Alex, the traffic spiked quite a lot. So that's something that, honestly is unpredictable sometimes. If you guys are trying to meet somebody at a specific time in some of these big metro cities here in the Philippines, give yourself at least another 45 minutes on top of that, especially in Manila, because traffic here can be a really big problem.
Okay. You mentioned Manila, and now we're in Cebu. Have you traveled around? How many places have you been to? Share some of that.
Honestly, just here in Cebu so far, I haven't really had an opportunity to go to other islands yet. But, honestly, who knows what the future will look like.
Yeah.
I've been through quite a few places here in Cebu, through obviously the provincial areas and here in the cities. So, there's a lot more opportunities out there.
Okay, good to know, man. You mentioned like romantically earlier. Are you in a relationship? Are you married? Are you seeing Filipinas? Tell me a bit about that.
I am currently locked in
You're
to
locked
a
in.
relationship right now. I'll try to show a photo here. So that's me and my future
Okay.
asawa.
So, okay, I'll get a picture from you later. We'll
Absolutely,
put it up on here.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Actually, you know what? I don't recommend this to most guys, but we met through a dating app, right? Now, statistically, right, there's always going to be the good and bad from the dating apps, but in my case, I met a really good one.
Yeah.
She doesn't live here in the city, by the way. She's 3 hours away in the province, but if you know, when you find the right one, you'll be more than happy to go out of your way to see
Yeah.
her. She's coming here at the end of the month to live here with me, actually, so we'll see how it goes.
You're looking forward to that, I bet.
It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome,
So-
man. Good to hear. I mean, you're still a lot closer than if you were back in the U.S., right? 3 hours doesn't seem like a long way. I mean,
Yeah. For a lot of you guys who are watching this, right, who are from the West, obviously, when you're dating, someone who's on the other side of the world, that obviously creates a lot of challenges, obviously. So, for me personally, doing an LDR from the U.S. to here, 12-hour difference in my case, would be almost impossible. So, I really do believe in the rule of boots on ground, right, being here in the Philippines, going out, meeting people in person. And if you're going to do an LDR, hopefully you're at least one bus ride away from each other.
close enough to physically at least meet each other, right? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, have you met any city girls? Did you date city and province? Any difference? Can you give us any advice or tips or insight on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. When it comes to dating here in the Philippines, right, there is definitely a noticeable difference. And obviously, again, statistically, you're going to meet the good and bad in any situation, right? But, honestly, guys, when you're talking about women who are born and raised here in the city, especially in these really nice, wealthier areas, you're going to have a little bit of a trickier time meeting a good one because, they know they have the money. They're not going to look for guys who are, retired or older to, get money from them or have any monetary style relationships. So one of the advantages for me anyways, being in my 20s, right, or at the tail end of my 20s anyways, is I can pretty much date on both ends without money really being involved at all. But what I have found, right, is women that are from the province almost always are going to be much more traditional in mindset, nature, right? Much more, caring and loving,
Yeah.
for the most part. And again, every person is going to be their own individual, but I've found that in general, I've had a much better experience with provincial women over
Okay.
city girls.
Good to know. Now, did you do any kind of research? Did you have any idea before coming here, like about dating or anything, like, or is this all new to you as well?
Honestly, just coming out here, I've already had this kind of established mindset of dating women from, developing countries, right, that are obviously non-westernized countries. So in some ways, there's similar ways of thinking, especially between Peru and here. They have that Spanish, Latin kind of
Okay.
mindset. So I know how to deal with the attitudes or the tampo, as,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
they would say, right? But honestly, it's best to just come here and experience it for yourself, right? Understand the women here are very, very friendly, very loving, caring, right? But also don't be so naive, right? Especially if you're an older guy and you're coming here wanting to date a girl that's in her 20s, right? Statistically speaking, there's going to be a higher chance of something going wrong there, right? Whether she's going to start asking you for money, trying to take advantage of you, right? And I know there's going to be some old heads in the comments saying, well, that's only your case or his case, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
But listen, as a 29-year-old guy here in the Philippines, I can definitely tell you that there is some differences, with younger guys dating women here and older guys dating
Of course,
younger guys
naturally,
here.
like any other
Absolutely.
country, right? I mean, I don't think it makes any difference.
Right.
I'll let you have a sip of your coffee, man.
Absolutely,
And then
yeah,
I don't want to get cold. Shooting question at you like non-stop, one after
No, man, I
another.
like it. Yeah, I
Okay.
like it. Trust me.
Good,
Yeah, it's
good
great.
to know. Now, how are you living here, man? How are you supporting yourself? Like, you're 29 years old. How are you making money or anything like that?
Yeah, I mentioned this in one of my most recent videos I put on my channel, regarding lifestyle here, especially as a younger expat, right? Again, going back to statistics, right? Most guys that are coming here from the West, living here, are generally going to be in their 50s and up, right? In a lot of cases, it's because they're retired, whether that's from disability, right? VA, right? Military disability. Or just retired with their Social Security pension, right?
Yeah.
So when you're younger, around my age, 29, or in your 30s, most guys should be probably working around that time,
Yeah.
right? So the number one piece of advice I can give to all of you guys who are around my age is find online work, right? Establish it and have consistent monthly income before you even step foot in another
Yeah.
country, right? For myself, I do ESL teaching online at the moment. So shout out to all the ESL teachers out there.
That's how I started too, man.
Yeah, that's what I remember you saying that. Yeah, so I think that again, you really need to establish that before you even get here. I mean, there's no worse scenario that could happen than saying, okay, I'm going to go to the Philippines with $5,000 and then I'm going to look for work online.
Yeah.
Well, if you try doing that, chances are your money's going to bleed dry and you're not going to have enough left to support yourself.
Okay, speaking of finances and money, a lot of guys, we want to know basically, can you live here for like this much or that much? What would you say as a single guy, maybe just with a girlfriend, right? What's a good budget per month, you think, to live comfortably here?
You know what? That's a great question. It really depends on your lifestyle, guys, right? If you're coming out here and you want to live, in this area, right? Ayala Center, IT Park area, and want to live in a nice condominium, you're going to need to have a little cash, right? You're going to need to make sure that you are supporting yourself with enough income month to month to make sure that's possible. As for myself, this might sound shocking to some people, but I only make around $800 to $1,000 a month, right? I live on a very tight budget. I don't live in a truly traditional local Filipino style home, right? With no electricity or, limited electricity, no aircon or anything. I have my air conditioning, I have TV, right?
Yeah.
I have most of my modern amenities, right? But I live in a very local area.
Yeah.
So, it really kind of depends on what you're looking at. I would say minimum, absolute minimum, right? For single guys, no kids, right? Not married, $1,000,
Yeah.
right? And that really depends on what your lifestyle is. If you want to live in a nice area, you're going to need closer to around $1,500.
I think that's half your rent at least if you want to live somewhere
Absolutely.
nice. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's good to know because now we have a number in mind and what kind of lifestyle you have. Now you're younger, but is there any expectations? Because you're in a relationship right now. Like, what's your role as a former partner? There's a lot of fear of men that they think they have to pay for the whole family or stuff like that. Do you experience that? Do you care? Shed any light on that?
Yeah, so kind of going back to my original point, guys, right? Statistically speaking, right, if you're an older guy, right, and when I say older, right, I don't want to offend anyone, any of the old heads that are going to be in the comments,
Yeah,
but
of course.
50 plus years old, there's a much higher possibility that will be true, and to some
Okay.
extent, right? Whether it's an allowance or you're supporting her for her load or whatever else the case is, right? In my scenario, right, being 29 years old here, I don't give my girlfriend any money,
Yeah.
right? In fact, just recently, I forgot to pay for something. She sent me 500 pesos. I just paid her back again today, right? But she works full time, right? I work full time. We live our own lives, right? And she's coming here next month, and she'll find work here as well. So, that absolutely is not true, and especially if you're younger,
Yeah.
just again going back to my original point, don't be naive, right? Don't fall in love with the first girl you see and think, oh my god, I can't lose her unless I
Yeah.
send her money, right? That's a real fear a lot of guys have, and you're just kind of being the sucker in that situation if you fall for those traps. So date around, look for the right one, and I promise you that situation doesn't happen if you don't let it happen.
What are some things like a big misconception you think people have before coming to the Philippines, and they come here and realize, hey, wait, this is way different than I assumed or I thought?
Yeah, if you've never lived in another country before, right,
Yeah.
outside of the West, right, anyways, I should say United States, UK, Canada, whatever, expect things are going to be different, right? And again, I mentioned this in one of my last videos I just uploaded, which is, develop a sense of patience here. Things are very laid back, which is a positive and a negative in a lot of ways, right? When it comes, again, to communication with people out here, very laid back. People are easygoing, easy to talk to, right? But when you want to get things done quick, that also comes into play where people might be laid back about things, right? You're going to the bank, you want to process paperwork, or you're trying to go to the store and get in and out quick. Don't be surprised you're waiting 20, 30 minutes, or even again at Jollibee. I mentioned an example when I was at Jollibee. I waited 15 minutes to order and then an hour after before I got my food, right?
a lot of patience.
This happened in the West, man. We'd throw a fit, we'd be screaming,
course.
hollering, right? But again, guys, patience is everything here in this country, right? When you're in Southeast Asia or just any developing country, patience is the key, right?
Okay.
And if you're a patient person, it'll be easier. If you're not a patient person, you better develop patience very quickly.
I agree. And do you think this is a place you're gonna stick around long term, or you have any idea about the future? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I would say at least for the next year, right? If everything goes great in my relationship, which I know it will, plan to hopefully propose, get married, and then bring her back to the United States. And there's those guys out there who say, well, if you bring your Filipino back to the U.S., she's going to become westernized, she's going to leave you or whatever. Again, going back to my point originally regarding older, right? Expats who come here have that large age gap relationship,
Yeah.
30, 40 years. Statistically speaking, that's a much higher possibility, right? But I'm 29, my girlfriend's 23.
Yeah.
Again, we both are more than happy to work full time, right? I think all those things combined will make
Yeah.
it a smooth transition, right? And in fact, as a matter of fact, she didn't even want to come to the U.S. originally. When I first got into a relationship with her, that was something we had to talk about, right? Now she's become more accepting of it for the future, but again, take your time, right? Meet the right person, and if that's your plan, guys, right? Go to the back to your home country with your girlfriend, wife, whatever. Hopefully married at that point, obviously. Then go for it, right? Just make sure you find the right one and you're both aligned in your goals.
Yeah, and I think whoever's been in that situation, when they know, right? Like it's like you trust somebody 100%, and usually if you don't, it's because you're either rushing into something, you're hoping for something, or you just fear of losing somebody. So
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that wants to get married, typically as a man, knows exactly why and who they want to marry. So
Yeah.
that's good. You mentioned your video a couple times. You have a
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Tell us what's the name and what kind of videos you upload. Give me some information so people can follow
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Yeah, for any of you guys who are just interested in travel videos, but specifically becoming an expat, and obviously in the relevance of being here in the Philippines, check out my channel. I upload not as often as I should, but I think Alex gave me some inspiration to start uploading more now.
Yeah.
Shout out to his Asia Now channel, by the way. He's almost at 10K subscribers, so
Thank you.
everyone should go check it out. He's getting close. But yeah, you guys can come check out my channel, SCARRRZ Scars. I'm going to try to upload more content regarding my life here in the Philippines, and specifically for some of the younger expats who are already living here or interested in living here, right? I can provide some good advice, right, from my perspective, my life here, right? Living on a budget, how to live on a budget, and Any other ideas you guys have, please come over to the channel, watch my videos, let me know in the comments. I read all of my comments. I try to. So
Awesome, man. I'll be sure to put the link to your channel in the description. People can go ahead and follow you and check out some of your videos.
absolutely appreciate that, Matt. Yeah. Shout out Alex, by the way. Get him 10K subscribers.
All right,
It's
buddy.
getting close.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. And that was Brian. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what do you think of his story and the fact that he wants to take his future wife back to America. And if you want to find the love of your life, I highly recommend checking out Peanut Heart. It's a Filipino dating site where you can start chatting with verified ladies and enjoy unlimited chats with lovely women through a premium subscription. Go ahead and click the link in the description down below. I've left that to Peanut Heart, the only website I trust when it comes to dating. And leave your thoughts down below regarding anything else he said, talking about cost of living, his experience in the Philippines, pros and cons, and check out his channel. He just did a video sitting down with Eric, another American in the Philippines, who actually stood up to Vitali, that buffoon that was making a scene down here in the Philippines. Luckily, he's been arrested. So I've left all the links in the description and in the comments down below. Show him some love. Let's get these guys started on their YouTube channels and on the way to something very successful and positive in the Philippines. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. All right, man. I have another sip and I'll think of another question.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Let's see how many minutes. This is 10 minutes, not bad.
Absolutely.
Okay, man. Well, good to know some excellent tips and advice. I lost my train of thought. Usually I'm good at these kinds of things.
That's all right. Catching you out guard, I'm answering those questions rapid
It's
fire,
pretty
right?
good. Like we want to know these kinds of things